How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. You guys hydrated?
Try.
You better try harder.
Sean, I know it's only been one practice, but you go into Kobe now, a full off season. What did you see from him yesterday, and then this off season to make you confident he can be the guy this year?
The biggest thing I see from him is just the ability and the willingness to keep growing, and that's what we're looking for, really, out of all these guys, and him in particular, because it's a new role for him, and we're excited about it because he's got that mindset. He's been really working hard, obviously in the off season and all summer, in constant communication with his coaches and myself, and kind of just setting himself up, and he's got to keep taking that mindset on a daily grind type of mindset.
Where is he in terms of knowing the defense well enough that he can play fast, but also help his teammates?
Yeah, I think probably everybody's in a similar level. I think they all have a really good grasp of the defense. I'm really proud of them. Those guys worked really hard over the summertime based on where we left off, and they took that kind of challenge of owning a lot of the stuff that we were doing. And so they came in really prepared, and we're throwing a lot at them right now. And I kind of told them that, and I said it's kind of intentional from my perspective to challenge them a little bit and put a little pressure on them, and then things will ease up. So I believe in teaching on the field and learning that way and having guys learn through some mistakes. And so I think he's doing a great job with that and really embracing it.
Philosophy as far as throwing a lot at young guys as opposed to bringing them along slowly and letting them learn slowly?
Yeah, I guess that's part of the art of coaching. In this role, that's part of the art. And I think my philosophy is at least I'm open and honest with them from the beginning. They kind of know what the expectation is, and they trust, and they'll see over time that we're going to take care of them mentally too. With the strain, the schedule helps them. With the process that we do and how we install and the time that we have to walk through things and kind of talk through things, the meeting time that we have. So I think they understand that, and I think they're going to really embrace it, and they are really embracing it, and I'm really happy that they're doing that.
When you say that you're throwing a lot at them, what in particular?
Oh, just in terms of, and maybe it's not a lot. I mean, one of the guys yesterday said, "Oh, this ain't a lot." So maybe it's just my perspective, but it's just when you install schemes, there's different philosophies how you do it. You can segment, just do 2 things a day or do 4 things. So it's just the volume. And so for me, I thought it was a lot, but a lot of the guys came back and told me it wasn't a lot. So I don't know.
Sean, what are the challenges? I think it's 5 starters you have to replace on defense. What sort of challenge does that present to something like that?
Yeah, I think, and you guys have been covering, obviously, this organization. I've been a part of different organizations. The challenge every year is to try to redefine and recreate your team. And even when there's continuity and there's a lot of stars that come back, it's still a challenge for them to grow and learn from that, right? We don't want to get caught in a place of complacency and rely on our past, and that's the big thing. So whoever we're bringing in, it's 11 guys. We're trying to find the best 11 to fit this defense and our personnel and our players and our team well. And I think the guys are really taking that daily approach to do that, and really rising to that challenge. And this is like, I'm talking that they're doing it, and they are, but it's really only day 2 of a long training camp here, right? So they got to continue to do it, and that's our job as coaches to motivate them to continue to do it.
It's a concentrated period of time. It's a concentrated period of time. What indicators are you looking for to know that they're where they need to be this summer?
Yeah, it's early. Our biggest thing is, like, we talked about our identity. I talked to you guys about our identity, and it's all going to start there. We want to play a physical brand of football. We want to be able to run and hit. And those things, there's not much that I'm going to do that. Right? Those are choices that they're making, and they're making them. They've made them here for a long time, and we're going to continue to hold them to that standard to make them. So once you get the baseline done is when you can start really getting to the next level of football. And so the baseline's been set here. It's going to continue to be set, and we're going to hold everybody to that standard. And now we just keep layering in the teaching of it. And that's no different than anybody in the NFL right now, right? Everybody's installing their schemes and teaching. It doesn't matter who's on your team and where you came from. It's about what's going on today and winning the day, really, as best you can.
Sean, Jordan Davis is a guy. Organizations you were with, a lot of people wouldn't say he's hyper-focused on situational football. Everybody is in the league, but have you sensed the difference here than in past stops?
Yeah, no doubt there's a difference. I mean, there's like you said it the best. There is a hyper focus, and it's awesome. And I think the players embrace it. I know we do as a staff, and it keeps us on our toes. And it's it creates, I think, what Coach does really good at is it's trying to create game-like situations, whether we're in the meeting room or on the practice field constantly. And, like, to be honest with you, that's real football. Right? You got to practice real football if you want to be a real good football team. And the other stuff is not fake football, but it's like, you know, you want to throw a situation on somebody and see how they react, because that's what happens in a game. And I think Coach does a tremendous job, and I'm excited kind of to go through this whole process that way, through training camp and the season with him that way.
What's your philosophy on determining who gets reps with what teams?
You know, reps, we kind of talk about that as a staff, and we're just trying to, right now, we're at the phase where we just got to get everybody reps. So it doesn't really matter, like, I'm not a big, hey, these are the ones, these are the twos, these are the threes. Like, we got to get everybody reps. We got to get everybody on tape. We got to get everybody evaluated. Everybody's got to get a fair shot at competing. And then we go. And then individual drills are a big part of that. You know, like, that's another big piece of this evaluation for us is how they're working there and the reps they're getting there. And then, obviously, our walkthroughs. And so we just like to roll guys and make sure we get the combinations in and make sure everybody's getting an opportunity. Because that's what training camp's about, right? Getting everybody an opportunity to compete.
Asked about this earlier when your first press conference in the spring, but what can people expect from a Sean Desai coached defense?
I mean, did you miss that press conference? What you do? Yeah, it was vacation time. I mean, you know, it's like we said earlier. You know, we want to run, we want to hit, we want to impose our will on people. We want to embody the brand of this city and be gritty, and be tough, and we're not going to take anything from anybody. Right, and that's pretty close to the direct quote from that press conference, but that's right. We want people to be able to feel us, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever it takes. We want people to know that we're on the field too, and we're going to dictate how we play the game on defense.
Sean Davis is a guy who is trying to get a bigger role in the defense. I guess what have you seen from him? The player you saw on tape as a rookie versus now that's different.
It's day 2 of training camp. I love the shape that he's coming in. I love the mentality that he's been playing with. I love what Coach Rocker's done with him to kind of keep him motivated and keep him going. And it's early. We want to see that day in and day out. You know, we're a long ways away from playing a regular season game right now. And so it's about focusing on that process and being mentally tough enough to go through that process and play at the same level every day in this heat, you know, in these conditions. And those things are real. And that's really what we want to see of everybody, including him.
Can he be impactful passer?
Say again?
Can he be an impactful passer?
And you've seen our front. I think all those guys can be impactful pass rushers. We just got to find those roles, and it's our job to get them in those roles to do it. Yeah, I mean, I think we got a lot of guys that can be impactful pass rushers. Oh man, I mean, you see him. Look, I mean, go find another human being that looks like him. You know, so I think that part of it. You know, there's not many people built like that. So he's strong, he's fast, he's quick, he's powerful. It's about putting it all together, you know, and then us helping him put it all together and getting the right combination of guys in there and being impactful. But we just need guys to be really great right now with the techniques that they're learning and the fundamentals. That's really the primary focus of this.
You've had rookie contributors last year included. What will it take for Sidney Brown to get on the field early in his career?
I mean, to me, and the players have heard this, it takes the same as it does for Darius Slay to get in the field. Right? They got to prove it. They got to prove that they're mastering the defense, they're mastering their technique and fundamentals, and that they're building confidence with the people around them. Because it's 11 is 1.
But you had 6 or 7 guys who were starters last year.
That's right, and that's right. They've got an edge for sure because they've proven it over a long time, like Slay. You know, those guys have an edge because they know how to prove it. So that's what Sidney's got to learn. That's really what all rookies got to learn. Is how do you fit in and how do you prove it and get yourself the respectability and accountability amongst your peers to earn a spot on a really good defense. And so they all know that, and they're all the cool thing is they're all excited about it, you know. And so that's on them, that's on those guys, and they know that, and we're going to help them. We're going to nurture them and develop them the same way and coach them hard and hold them accountable and make sure they got opportunities to compete. But it's a work in progress.
Nick has said before that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Anytime you have veteran guys, like, and you said a lot of them, and we have a few more also, it helps tremendously. I mean, those guys have played so much football, have seen so much football, And I respect that. I respect that, and I love to learn from other people's experiences. So, I mean, I'm always asking those guys questions of what they're seeing, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, and they're telling me, and we agree. And sometimes if we don't, we talk about it, and that's great. That's part of me growing and them growing, and we're doing this thing together. Say again? I don't see it as that. You know, I think that's like saying who wins in a classroom, the teacher or the student. I mean, you got kids, right? Nobody, right? You're not trying to compete with your teacher. We're trying to grow each other's knowledge and try to figure out what's best for all of us. And I think that's the angle that we take at it. So we're not, it's not a, when you make it that way in a classroom, that's not really a conducive type of classroom, and we ain't going to make it that way.
Nick has talked about how he finds himself sometimes watching the wide receivers closely or being a little harder on them because that's his position background. Is it like that with you for safeties?
Yeah, I think that's a good question for my position coaches to see where they feel, because obviously I've coached safeties in this league, Coach Nichols, been in the DB room, coached OLBs or been in that room, coach ILBs. So based on the day and the technique or something that happens, each coach might feel a little bit differently. But I try to get around. You guys see me practice. I try to be around everybody. I think that's important in my role. And then, I think that's probably a better suited question for how they feel if I'm being a little bit harder on them. But I try not to be. Hopefully I can distribute that hardness evenly. See, that's the energy you guys need to bring here.
You don't want us doing that.
Why not?
I know it's early to make judgments on Jalen Carter's play on the field, but what have you seen from him behind the scenes since he's been here?
He's learned to be a pro. He's just like Sydney and Nolan. He's doing a great job, and he's taking ownership. He knows what it is in terms of the preparation for your mind and your body off the field, in the weight room, in the training room, all that stuff. And he's embracing it and learning it, and he's doing a great job. Coach Rocker's doing a tremendous job with him, and we got a team of people, we're built this way to take on all of our rookies and help develop them. Connor Barwin, we have a great development program. It's all these guys that are supporting all these guys to help that transition, and he's on par with all of them.
What more luxury is it for you to have Matt here as sort of a veteran defensive line who's kind of done it all? Matt Patricia.
You said what? How does it help?
What kind of luxury it is?
Oh, luxury. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's tremendous. I think I said this in my first press conference. It's about talent acquisition, right? That's what this industry is, and it's the same for coaches. We just want talented people that have no egos and that are going to work together towards a common cause. And that's what Coach Nick preaches. That's what Mr. Lurie preaches. That's what Howie preaches, and that's what we're doing. And so Matt's a tremendous asset. I mean, he's got so many years of experience on all sides of the ball. And as a head coach, as a coordinator, as a position coach, coaching different position rooms. So he's been a tremendous asset, I think, for me, obviously, and really for our staff. And we've really integrated it well, and he's able to help a lot of different people and be an assisting role, kind of like I am during practice. You asked, I ain't going to go down there and coach the safeties and take over the drill and all that stuff. That's not my role right now. My role is to help develop everybody, and that's where Matt is able to help do that.
What are your early impressions? Very big on preventing explosive plays and Gannon follow that. Is that part of your?
Oh yeah, that's part of that double positives, right? Yeah, that's our organizational philosophy, right? In terms of explosive and takeaways, that's our double positive, and that's a big part of our philosophy.
How do you measure explosive plays run and pass?
We have some metrics that we use, and then we're still kind of working through making sure that it fits with everything. But the biggest thing is you don't want to give a big real estate of yards, right? There's 100 yards on the field, and that's the field that you're defending. So any chunk of real estate that comes, whether it be through penalties, through explosive plays, missed tackles that lead to big chunks of yards, right? Those things are things that we don't want to play, and they're going to happen. But we want to try to limit those as best we can and get on the positive side of that as much as we can.
What are your early impressions of the young cornerbacks behind Slade, Bradbury, and Maddox?
Yes, similarly, they're young, they're competing, and they're working hard, and they're taking advantage of their opportunities to learn behind two really good, really smart veteran football players that have a lot of production in this league. And so they're pushing them, And that's all we want from them. We want them to keep growing and learning and then being themselves. You know, when it's their chance to go, they can't play press or off or whatever. They can't do it how somebody else does it. They got to play it in their own way, and we're going to teach them how to play it in their own way and then optimize their skill set that way.